Welcome to another edition of Learn to Cook. So what are we going to learn today? We're going to have a salmon patty dinner. So what goes into salmon patties and what goes well with a salmon patty dinner? All right, first of all, you need 1 can of salmon, and you're going to have 3 different kinds of flours. We're going to have a spelt flour, an almond flour, and a coconut flour. We're going to have parsley. We're going to have Celtic salt. We're going to have quinoa, a bag of frozen broccoli, and 1 egg is optional. So let's get started. To make salmon patties, you need to add the quinoa, and the quinoa needs to be fresh and still warm to make it go better. So I'm going to show you how to make your quinoa. All right, you're going to put 4 cups of water in your rice cooker. So I've already added 3, so I'm going to add 1 more. 1 more cup of water. And then I showed you the bag of quinoa, which is 2 cups. And then you're going to put that in, 2 cups of quinoa. And you're going to add a little bit of avocado oil, just about, maybe an eighth of a cup maybe. And you're going to add a pinch of salt. And then you're going to stir it to get some of that oil in there. Cover on, plug it in. Never plug in anything until you're ready to use it. And set it on cook. And now we wait until that is finished before we continue. The quinoa is done. I've stirred it once already, and it's nice and hot. Now I've opened up the canned salmon, and we're going to put the whole thing in. Don't drain it. Put the whole thing in the bowl. I've got a bowl here. Oh, you can't see the bowl, can you? There you go. Bowl there. All right. And the quinoa's over here. You can see the quinoa. We're going to take the cover off. And a 1/2 cup. I'm going to start with a 1/2 cup. And we're doing a 1/2 cup to a whole cup. So there's the 1/2 cup in there. We might do another 1/2 cup. The parsley, we're going to do about a teaspoon. You can put more in if you want. I put it in about 1/2. There's another 1/2. And now you're going to put in a teaspoon of coconut. A teaspoon of almond. These are all flours now. Teaspoon of flour, of almond flour. And we're also going to use, you can use coconut flour, almond flour, quinoa flour. I didn't have any quinoa flour, so instead I'm using spelt flour. That's spelt S-P-E-L-T. It's also a flour. They're healthier than just a regular white flour. We're going to put in a pinch of salt. That's Celtic sea salt. And then we're going to use our hard, strong spoon to stir it. Now we want it to stick together, and we want it fairly wet, but not too wet. So, can you see that there? It's pretty wet, so I'm going to add the other half a cup of quinoa. And the quinoa will soak up a lot of the liquid. Let's stir that in. That's looking good now. In fact, I might add just a little bit more. Oh, it's looking good. Look at that. See how that's sticking together now like that? Now the almond oil, of course, you're going to use that to put it in the frying pan. That's looking good there. Now if you want, you can leave it like that, and you're going to use that to make the patties. Or you can add that one egg, and that will make it, you know, glue together a little bit better. But some of you out there cannot take an egg, so you don't need the egg. So on to the next part. This is a steamer pot for your broccoli. It has a cover. It has a steamer part with the holes in it. I put water, not tap water, in the bottom, because sometimes I'll use the water in the bottom to drink or for your tea or different things like that. So you don't want to use tap water for that either. Put the whole bag of broccoli in there. Put the cover on. Make sure this is down all the way. It keeps sliding up here. Sure it's down all the way. There we go. Now the cover will go on. And you're going to put that on when we get the salmon patties going. So now the salmon patties. We got a frying pan. We're going to add some avocado oil to the frying pan. It's one of those non-stick, but you still want to use the oil there. And make sure it's all in the pan. This way you don't use as much oil if you put some and then just move the pan around so that it will get all on the bottom. Or you can use one of those brushes and brush the bottom. There we go. Great. And we have a spatula to turn. All right, now make sure your hands are clean all the time. I'm washing my hands constantly when I'm cooking. So you're going to take a spoon, a large spoon, and get a large spoon, plop it in your hand, and it's going to be warm, not too warm. It's, you know, getting cooler now. And just make it a nice round, because these will not work in one of those automatic hamburger makers presses, because they'll stick and they won't, and it just doesn't work. So you have to do these with your hand. That's why you got to make sure your hands are clean. All right. Now, that's why you use one of those big spoons, because that way you make them all about the same size. And when people are grabbing them, they aren't saying, "Oh, you got a bigger one than mine." 9 patties, 4 about the same size and 1 just a little bit bigger. So now we can turn it on. We're going to turn on the broccoli and the salmon at the same time. And keep covers on both. And it's going to be about 5 minutes, and then we're going to check on them. Isn't that gorgeous looking? Your mouth is just watering. And remember to do your dishes as you go so you don't have a big mess to clean up after you eat. Good luck to you. See you next time. Bye.